Good morning, friends. Bhadrasa welcoming you early morning today from the platform of Hexagon Capital to continue yesterday's fundamentals of tops and bottoms in our country since 2003. Our country, India, has oscillated almost for 2 decades, 80s and 90s, after having globalized in 1992. There was nothing, no major activity up to the year 2000, and it was the basically a technology boom that continued, that started with year 2000, but that bubble was burst in India, at least for that time frame. And then there was a WTC crack and there was a Tahelka.com crack before our coffers getting empty. And it was the month of March 2003 when everyone was bearish and panic. Auto stocks, two-wheelers, four-wheelers started picking up. Auto ancillary stocks started picking up. Pharma started picking up with generic and with MNC farmers picked up, but it was Dr. Reddy which did not perform in the entire first decade of the year 2000. All other farmers started picking up, but the great pickup was banking. The great move was in banking. Yes Bank and IndusInd Bank cannot be ignored because both of were available at 50 till the year 2006. And when the bank nifty was below 4,000, Yes Bank, IndusInd Bank were available at below 50, around 50 plus minus, which went up almost more than 25 times, and bank nifty went up from 4,000 to almost close to 21,000. There was a great move in private bank. There was a great move in PSU banks, but Basel 1, Basel 2 norms were intact. Now with Basel 3 norms to be implemented by the year 2019, there is going to be a pressure on the capital adequacy ratios, and bank nifty, which was hovering below 4,000, around 3,800, went up to 21,000 and had a support of 7,800 and another support of 13,400 in two previous falls in nifty in last one decade, year 2008, year 2011 and year 2013. All the three panic bottoms were being tested, but banking has seen a big change, big transformations on the sea level, on the grassroots levels, and everything is being now computerized. We have a net banking. We hardly go to bank. We hardly sign checks. Everything is through net. Everything is through your smartphones, and it's with the payment gateways. Things have changed in India. Banking is basically a core infrastructure, and with such a $1 trillion economy to be maintained, and if we want 7+% GDP growth to be maintained and plus 10% GDP growth after 2 years, we need banking to at its utmost, and we need to figure out the solution for all NPAs. And NPA crack also we have witnessed earlier, 2 quarters before. All PSU banks and private banks, NPMS, which was declared as on that quarter, the last quarter of financial year 2015-16, or you can say March quarter of 2016, is the utmost which we can see, but it is not a bad debt. It will be recovered over a period of time and banking will do well. There is going to be a sea change which is expected in banking, and banking will be a core infrastructure in the years to come. But are we going to buy banking? No. When the real boom started, the real wave started, Real up move started in the year 2003. The first major wave, it was a 5 times rally in Nifty and Sensex. Sensex went up to 21,121, Nifty 6450, and from 980 to 6450, and Sensex closer to 21,121 repeatedly twice in 2007 and 8 and 2010, which was tested again in 2015, and we made a new high in 2015, corrected in 2015-16, budget to budget. We are now in a continuation of a bull run after completing 1 decade from 2003 to 2013. 4.5 years boom, then 4.5 years oscillation, and then next 4.5 years going to be upside. And if it is with an oscillation of ABC, then certainly we are going to make 22-degree rise in a Nifty, Sensex and Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty is expected to be 24,000 plus, Nifty is expected to be 10,400 plus, and Sensex is expected to be nearly 34,000 plus. If that be the case, what are those fundamentals which we should vouch? What should be a stock picking strategy? Very simple. When we started the boom, it was metals which was neglected, it was Kotak Bank which was neglected in the first 4.5 years from 2003 to 2008. Metals have just started in 2014. It was me from the Hexagon Capital which spotted Tisco and JSW Steel, Tisco at 240 a year before, exactly a year before, and JSW Steel exactly at around 880, exactly a year before. From our platform, from this platform, when no one was bullish about metals in India. Vedanta at 80, when no one was bullish in India about metals. Metal story will continue. Now the next story which is likely to be upfront is, like you can say, continuation of oil marketing companies upside, because that has got a relevance with the bottom made of 2013 August. So HPCL, BPCL and IOC are the stock which will be on the upward radar, a must in your portfolio, a must in your trading radar. Every fall is a buying opportunity, irrespective of the momentum, irrespective of the news. Oil is not going to be in a new bull run. Oil is basically a corrective run, and it is going to oscillate plus minus 44, 48 per dollar per barrel. And we can say that stock picking will be easy if you buy, if you think the growth story. If you buy Dabur, if you buy Hindustan Lever, if you buy ITC, if you buy Britannia, if you buy Marico Industry, which is the best one out of the lot, I will say it is better to buy Marico Industry, it is better to buy Dabur than Hindustan Lever, and then buying ITC. ITC will certainly go up, but the percentage return which you can get on the investment today will not be that heavy, but certainly all the FMCG stocks are a must. What can be the great thing in the year 2073? What should be the stock picking strategy? Growth story, individual growth story with an isolation plus a pharma revival in pharma stories, the medicine is going to be never neglected in our country. Exports to US will continue. FDA problems will be resolved in 1, 2 and 3 phases, which might take a year, but we are getting bargain hunting in some of the pharma front lines and mid caps, which we must go and tap. We must tap that and we must track that. IT, after having a 20-21 years of a bull run, IT is on a meltdown for the time being. IT services, which we used to say basically a great boom, a great money in Infosys, TCS, Wipro, and earlier Satyam, now Tech Mahindra. It is going to be at a halt for the time being, not to be touched till it consolidates at these levels. IT had not corrected in 2015-16. It is correcting now. Pharma did not correct in 2015-16. Yes, Sun Pharma started the first fall in 2015 March, and Sun Pharma topped out the first, and Sun Pharma is the stock which is temporarily in a bear phase after a very solid bull run of more than a decade, more than 13 years. Will Sun Pharma revive? Yes, Sun Pharma will revive. Is there a great run in Lupin? Yes. Lupin was available at less than 200 rupees in 2003. No one wanted to buy. Lupin was available less than 1000 rupees, 900 and below 900 in 2014. No one wanted to buy. It went up from there 100% and it continued. It is a great story to be bought. There is a Hero Honda which you must have in your portfolio. You can go and buy Asian Paints, a must in your portfolio, must on a trading radar. But what is that which can be a multi-bagger? Believe me, NBFC stories will continue after an oscillation for a pause, maybe for few days or few weeks. The upward move will continue because it is a directly related with your pay packets consumption, and everyone wants to buy smartphones, everyone wants to buy laptop, everyone wants to buy consumer durables with or without a capacity to pay today. Everyone has to upgrade themselves with the technological upgradations and with the digitalization in India. Payment will be made over a period of 6 months to 9 months with these NBFCs giving the facility to borrow. Yes, thereafter what is that which will be catching the eye? It is going to be a infrastructure story. A story related with the basic infrastructure spending by the government, by the Modi government. Modi government has given focus on the road development, on the railway development, transformation into road and railways, a sea change in road and railways, spending more than 8 lakh crores on the government side, government expenditure, creating employment opportunities and creating demand out of it, and giving a boost and momentum to the economic growth of the country. Yes, with railways we have renewables where there is going to be a great activity, and renewables and energy. Renewables is a must, and along with this we cannot ignore the basic infrastructure with respect to road, with respect to railways. If you buy BEL and BEML in your portfolio, a must in your portfolio. The story with respect to defense, the story with respect to aerospace cannot be ignored because that is where Modi government is having an eye to make a sea change, a great improvement. One must know what the government wants to do for the growth of the economy, what the government is trying to do, how they are bringing a structural change, how they are in a process of bringing a cyclical change and the grassroots level change, transformations, and all those reforms will ultimately get reflected in the earnings of the corporates from here on, from the quarter to be followed from next. 2017 will be the year of getting reflected all the efforts of Modi government in numbers at the corporate level, at the earnings, and earnings recovery will give a boost to stocks that are directly affecting the everyone's pocket, everyone's need, everyone's demand. And if you count that as a fundamental to stock picking, it's not difficult. There are more than 5,000 stocks, but you little bit avoid mid cap, let it get corrected, avoid small caps, let it get corrected for the time being. When it finds a reasonable levels technically and fundamentally, after a pause, after a price correction or a time correction, one can again latch it into price of at a valuations, reasonable valuations of mid caps and small caps. But large caps are undervalued, have not performed, or you can say it has been underperforming. You may not get a solid and extraordinary upswing, but It is a must in your portfolio because it has got a direct relevance with your earnings of the country, earnings of the GDP, and if you count reality, after the core strength of cement, which the boom which started, the bull run started in 2010, it's continuing, it will continue forever, at least for next 2 years, because without cement and steel our country cannot grow. With infrastructure spending, cement and steel will continue to be in demand. Steel Authority is going to be in demand, TISCO is going to be in demand, Vedanta is going to be in demand. And why Vedanta? Because it has got a mineral story, it has got mines. Minerals mining story again will be a sea change, will be in your portfolio. And very important, which we have always neglected, is the power sector, energy sector, gas sector, which was always being neglected by us since last 3 decades. You remember, we had always neglected tire industry for 3 decades, 80s, 90s and 2000. What has happened to CEAT Tire? What has happened to JK Tire? What has happened to Apollo Tire? What has happened to the entire tire industry? It is a basic backbone, and with the rubber prices coming down, it gave you a phenomenal rise in last 2.5 years. Similarly, you can see ONGC moving up, you can see Coal India moving up, you can see NMDC moving up, you can see MMTC moving up, you can see a great move in oil and gas sector, you can see a great move in Reliance towards 1440 with a stop of 967, and one can always buy Nifty, one can always buy Bank Nifty, and the great story in Bank Nifty is yet to get unfold, but with Basel III norms due in next 2.5 years, and to consolidate that, we are going to be looking at mergers and acquisitions in private sector as well as in public sector banks, and that we will see how economies and how synergies are taking place between the banks, and how government is taking a decision to unite, to consolidate the balance sheet of few banks in PSUs and to few banks in private sectors. Kotak Bank has already done it. Now maybe another 1 or 2 private banks can do it, can consolidate. They might take over smaller private banks. The new private bank which is there is RBL. The new private bank which is being acquired by the people because it is having a lesser price book valuations, that is IDFC Bank, but it's a long-term investment. In a shorter run, one can trade in Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty will give you 5 times return, but the consolidation in HDFC and HDFC Bank shows that HDFC and HDFC Bank will double from here in next 2 years time. It is a must in your portfolio. It is not going to get corrected in a big way. Even last year when the Nifty corrected, it has not corrected. Even Bank Nifty corrected, it is not corrected to that extent. The percentage rise is more than the percentage correction. The time correction is also not expected to be there, and the big bosses are being buying HDFC Bank, and that we have seen in last 5 months. After April, we have seen a great buying in HDFC and HDFC Bank. Where can be the support of Bank Nifty? Bank Nifty has a support, ultimate support at 18,400, but the recent support is that 18,800, 19,200 band. That band is not likely to be broken. It might get tested again. It might get penetrated for a moment for a trade, but Bank Nifty is on a buy side. It's on a buy swing. You will never go short in banking. Banking will be a basic backbone and basic infrastructure for the country. We are going to talk about in detail about stock picking in the next lecture, in the next video, but till then, because it is now I am going to be in the classrooms for my next lecture. Thank you very much. Badresa signing off from the platform of Hexagon Capital. With Trump or Hillary Clinton, believe me, if Clinton comes, Nifty will be cap up. Today Nifty is expected to be cap down as per the SGX, but please don't get carried away with that gap down. though we have failed to cross 8608 yesterday, I am of the opinion that whatever correction comes is a great buy today. And with US election getting completed and with the result today, we will see a great move upside in the days and weeks to come. Even in short term, I am not bearish. Even in the medium term, I am not bearish. Stock picking, yes, continue to buy Manappuram Finance, continue to buy NMDC, continue to buy SAIL, continue to buy Jain Irrigation, continue to buy so many other stocks on the radar, but never ignore Vedanta and Tata Steel. They are the stocks which will give you multiple returns in the months and year to come. No one is believing the story. People will start believing when the price discounts. Don't go and short any of the stock in the market, any of the sector in the market. If you don't like, don't go and buy. Just focus on your long side of the market, because we are in a third wave. The great move is about to get unfold. Don't think that we have distributed in a technical graph. Everyone on the graph is, people are thinking that we have got a distribution at a higher level, we have got a double top. Please don't think that way. We are going to make a great move upside with this shoulder on the right side of the move. If you count a macro level, we are making a shoulder with an inverted head and shoulder. One shoulder was already there, head was there in February budget 2016. This is another shoulder in a graph we are making, and with an inverted head and shoulder breakout, 9,700 Nifty in next 10 to 12 weeks cannot be ruled out, and it's going to be a firing move. Please go and buy India. Thank you very much. Badresh Shah signing off from the platform of Hexagon Capital, and Badresh Shah saying have a wonderful day, have a wonderful trading day from the platform, from the channel of Hexagon Capital. Thank you very much.